Mental health. The term has become a bit of a Voldemort word. It never gets brought up in everyday conversations, and if it does, it brings with it a sense of stigmatism and judgment. No wonder people tend to hide it more than they share it. As a result, I think we've created a society with so many possibilities, yet a society where people feel trapped. They feel lost and feel like they have nowhere to go. You can have everything in the world, but if your life feels grey, it can feel like you have nothing. I remember feeling grey, feeling like my life lacked colour. Leaving uni and being spat back out into the real world with the overwhelming sensation of, is this it? I felt like my life had no purpose, and at a young age I'd always envisaged a life of purpose, a life of impact. I felt hollow, accepting the harsh reality that this was indeed it. My life felt cloudy, and the future was covered in fog. My life was grey. So I started running. And I'm by no means an athlete, and at the beginning I ran like a non-athlete too. But instead of giving myself an unreachable goal of I'm going to run a half marathon, I set myself the realistic goal of I'm going to run to the signpost. So that's what I did. Most mornings I'd get up and just run. Don't get me wrong, running isn't the answer for everyone. We've all got our different coping mechanisms, but for me, running made me see clearly. Some days were tough. I'd feel sick and lack the resilience to keep on trying. I'd feel defeated. But some days I would feel good. But the one thing that was consistent was the overwhelming sense of accomplishment when reaching my imaginary finish line every time I ran. So, I began to push my distance. To the signposts, to the first tree, the second tree, third tree, and I was doing it. I was setting myself goals that were in reach and obtainable with just a little motivation. And then, I finally made it. 5 kilometers. I made it to the reservoir. And I cried. The emotional release of feeling like I had finally, for the first time in months, maybe years, set myself a goal and had the drive and the determination to achieve it. The world seemed a little less harsh, less linear. I saw in colour. For me, running allowed me to rebuild myself. In the open and honest headspace it created, it allowed me to come to terms with aspects of myself I wasn't happy with, and allowed me to grow. It empowered me to make an active change. It might not be for everyone, but try to think about times you felt happiest. Maybe walking your dog, knitting, or cooking for your mum. Whatever it is, allow yourself the headspace. Allow yourself to find the inner strength, to see in colour. Globally, one man takes his own life every minute. The stigma behind mental health in general, coupled with the pressure and expectation of men in our society, is why this figure is so high. But we can make a change. We can run to the signpost. We can see in colour.